Yeah, you heard that. That is an actual line from the movie we're about to break down. It's so weird, makes zero sense out of context, but honestly, it's the perfect way to kick things off. So let's dive in.
All right, so today we're doing something a little different. We're not just going to watch a movie. We're going to put it right on the operating table. We're going to dissect the whole creature feature formula, and we're going to use this one. Let's call it a classic B movie as our specimen to really figure out what makes these films tick.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to look at the attack, meet the hero, break down their absolutely wild plan, then, of course, watch it all fall apart, and wrap things up with that glorious trope-filled ending. Sound good? Let's go. You know, pretty much every single one of these movies kicks off with the same scary idea, right? The monster isn't hiding in some exotic jungle. Nope. It's in your backyard. It's somewhere you thought was totally safe. And for this movie, that place is just a regular old lake.
And get this, it's not just one shark. Oh no, it's a whole family of them. And they're not just munching on swimmers. They're threatening the town's entire tourist economy. So right away, you've got these huge stakes. It's personal, it's financial, it's a classic setup to get the whole town freaking out right from the start.
So what's the first thing that happens? Total denial, of course. This line is it's perfect. It's that classic trope, you know? The locals just refusing to believe what's right in front of them. And that's how these movies work, right? It lets the monster get a few more snacks in before anybody really takes it seriously, and that just cranks up the tension.
Okay, so the monster's here, nobody in charge believes it, what do? You gotta find a hero. But here's the thing, it can't just be any hero. The creature feature playbook demands a very specific kind of person. The one guy, it's almost always a guy, who has the exact skills needed to fight this thing, and, naturally, he wants absolutely nothing to do with it.
I mean, this character is a total staple of the genre, and it makes sense why. We love a hero who's got some baggage to deal with, right? And that's our guy, Spencer. He's a former game warden, he's tangled with these things before, and he's got the scars, literal or not, to prove it. He's the expert, but he's also kind of broken. That just makes it so much better when he finally decides to step up.
So the mayor basically begs him to come back, offers him his old job, but he's just not having it. That past trauma is just too much. And this quote, it tells you everything. He knows exactly how bad it can get, and he is not signing up for round 2. This no is so important, though. It's what builds all that tension and shows you how much this is going to cost him personally before we all know he's eventually going to say yes.
All right, so our hero is finally on board. But you can't just send him out there with like a bigger boat and a shotgun. No, that's way too easy. What you need for a proper creature feature is a ridiculously complicated, sorta scientific-sounding plan that is pretty much designed to blow up in their faces, spectacularly.
And here it is, the big plan. So it involves scuba diving, some fancy electronic gadget, and of course, a giant explosion. It has just enough science in it that you can kind of buy it in the world of the movie, but it's also so complicated that you, sitting on your couch, just know this is going to be a complete disaster.
I mean, when you actually break it down step by step, the pure ridiculousness of it is it's a thing of beauty. Step 1, let's get in the water with the sharks. Step 2, let's do some tricky work, by hand. And step 4 is, literally, and I'm quoting here, blow shit up. It's just perfect B-movie logic, isn't it?
And this is how they sell it. They just throw out some sciencey words like electroreceptors and promise that it's all been thoroughly vetted. You know, this is basically the movie giving us a little wink. It's giving us just enough technobabble so we can go, okay, fine, I'll go with it, right before everything goes completely haywire.
But wait, there's more. A crazy plan isn't enough to make a great creature feature. To really crank the tension up to 11, you need that last-minute twist, that ticking clock that suddenly makes failure not just bad, but catastrophic. And there it is. Suddenly, that whole blow shit up part of the plan has a scary new twist. See, it's not just about getting rid of the sharks anymore. Now, if they screw this up, they could hit that gas line and, the movie's words, not mine, blow the entire town off the map. So yeah, the stakes just got a little bit higher.
And just to give you some perspective here, the boat's depth finder says the lake is 62 feet deep. That's it. We're talking about the height of like a 6-story building. So all of this high drama, the scuba diving, the fancy electronics, the risk vaporizing the entire town, it's all happening in what's basically a big pond. You just gotta love how absurd that is.
Okay, let's recap. We've got our hero, we've got the insane plan, and that ticking clock is definitely ticking. This right here is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for everything to go completely and wonderfully wrong.
And this brings us to another amazing trope, the classic duo of the super competent hero and his completely useless sidekick. While Spencer's all business, his buddy Nolan is, well, he's got other things on his mind. This is great for a couple of reasons. First, Nolan's screw-ups make Spencer look even more like a stud. And second, all his little blunders, like, needing to poop mid-mission or celebrating way too soon, they give us some comic relief while also creating brand new problems for our hero to solve.
And now, we've reached the grand finale. This is the part of the movie where it feels like the writers just had a checklist of every horror and action movie trope ever, and they decided to cram them all into the last 10 minutes. It is a beautiful, chaotic mess.
I mean, just look at this. In the span of just a few minutes, you get the classic bait and switch, the boat propeller conveniently getting stuck in a shark's face, of all places. You get the noble sacrifice from Nolan, but wait, it's a fake-out death. He's back. And yes, they even managed to squeeze in one last poop joke. It's like a speed run of the entire creature feature formula.
And that's how it all wraps up. The sharks are maybe gone? They leave it just open enough for a sequel, of course. Our hero makes peace with his son, so he gets his emotional payoff. And the goofy sidekick, he miraculously survives getting eaten by a shark just so he can pop up for one last gag. It's messy, it doesn't really hold up if you think about it for more than 2 seconds. And honestly, for this kind of movie, it's the perfect ending.
So that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? These movies are so predictable, the science is questionable at best, the dialogue is absolutely ridiculous, so why do we love them so much? Why can't we look away? I think there's just something comforting and, honestly, something really thrilling about the formula. It keeps us coming back. Maybe it's not about things making sense, maybe it's just about the pure fun of, well, poking it with a stick and seeing what happens. Thanks for joining me on this one.